Taking a look now at the Ashley Madison accounts that were hacked. Millions of people who thought the cheating website was a discreet escape had a lot of explaining to do when their names became quite public.
Yeah, there's an interesting psychology when there's infidelity in a relationship that may actually surprise you, and we're talking about it today. Our chief health editor, Dr. Partha Nandi, joins us live. Good to see you as always. Cheating, usually the ultimate kind of destroyer of relationships, but you're talking about something that's kind of the opposite now.
Yeah, you know, it may not be. A lot of times it is for those you're watching, but it may not be. We'll talk about, how that can be the case.
What is it that stops some couples from being destroyed by this and others who aren't, do you think?
One important word is forgiveness, and true forgiveness. If you can get stronger after trauma. So, you can have post-traumatic stress disorder we talk about. This is actually post-traumatic growth. So you have trauma from the infidelity, and then if you as a couple can then grow from it with true forgiveness. And this is not just saying, hey, you know what, I'm sorry, won't happen again, you walk away. This is a process that's consistently apologizing and actions that show that, listen, this is what I want to do. And if that works, then the couple can actually grow and be stronger, which is hard to believe, but it can actually happen.
Now we have the Josh Duggar incident, of course, the well-known one that everybody's talking about here, and he says, oh, oops, honey, sorry about that. I mean, does that indicate there's just not enough there? So
not enough, and it may be that you have to say, "Oops, honey, I'm really sorry," but then actions afterwards and consistent actions. You have to show that this is meaningful, and then the trauma can actually make you stronger. It's almost like getting a cut, and sometimes if you get a broken bone, your bone is actually stronger. I mean, it's not the same analogy, but that's what we're talking about. Is that the trauma results in the relationship actually can become stronger if true forgiveness happens, and that's the key to it all.
But you can't blame those who aren't able to do that.
Absolutely
You know what I mean?
not.
Because there are many cases where they just can't. They feel like they have been violated and vows broken and everything else.
Yeah, and I think that's what most of us feel.
Right.
The thing that I'm trying to say is that, there could be a chance that because so many couples actually do this. I mean, the surveys are up to 3/4 of couples can actually be doing this cheating.
Wow.
And so another message is that when you're getting married, I'm not saying expect your spouse to cheat, but be prepared for it. Have a conversation that if this happens, how are we going to proceed and what can we do as a couple to get stronger? So I think there's absolutely, you're saying, if there's a pattern of abuse and infidelity and lack of trust, marriage may not be able to be safe, but there are opportunities to make it stronger.
Right, right.
Well, you're talking about that figure of 3/4, I think is half to 3/4 of couples, spouses cheat. I mean, what aren't they seeing before they get married? What haven't they resolved before they get married that happens?
And that's the million-dollar question. But I guess, we don't know exactly what is not satisfying them within the marriage that's making them do this. But the key is that understand that this is something that may happen, and actually the chances are it will happen. So as a couple, if there are young couples out there thinking about getting married, it's an uncomfortable conversation, but you have to have it. If this happens, these are the consequences, and you need to deal with it. Because a lot of people feel, well, it's not a big deal, it's a one-time thing, and et cetera, and they make light of it. But if you talk about it before, like everything else you do, I think you can deal with it.
Men or women cheat more? I mean, I think stereotypically we think it's men, but
it's equal.
Is it?
It's unbelievable. And I think because we classify men and women as so different, but there may be similar reasons why men and women cheat, and they're equal. So I think that on both sides we can really learn a lot and do a lot, even if it happens.
Topic is 5.
We're actually talking about how we can deal with fall allergies. So a lot of us are sniffling, sneezing, etc. So you got to watch that.
Dr. Nandi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's a